Hi, we're Colin and Jackie. Little 600-acre farm here. We run about 300 cattle. We also run ponies, and I like to break them, and Jackie does the dressage with them. Typical day on our farm would be feeding the cattle. We strip graze, so moving electric fences, probably running behind them with an irrigator. This first shed, it's about an 8,000 bale shed. We can put either round bales or big squares or small square bales in it. We use machinery with either a hay grab for the little ones or spears for the big bales, which came down to the design of the shed. We looked at a lot of sheds in the area where people had hit posts in the past, so we made the openings bigger. We've put bollards out the front. We've put cattle rail at the back, so when I come in a bit hot, I don't take the back wall out. It is just so strong. The cross bracing and everything makes our other sheds, which are good sheds, but it makes them look so flimsy. I have absolute faith, no matter what nature throws at us, this will stand up. This would stand up to Cyclone Yasi, I'm sure, and that's important. It's got to be here for a long time. The weather seems to be getting crazier, and it's got to stand up to whatever nature throws at it, and I'm sure it will. The reason we keep machinery undercover comes back to an experience we had at Mergen. A little farm we bought had machinery on it, but it had never been undercover. Well, every time you took this, say, the hay bine out of the shed to go and mow some hay, it'd break down. It is just rusted, and all the rubber hoses perished, and we'd blow a hose every time. The knife and the ledges were all rusted. It was just pitiful. I'd always kept our machinery in sheds. When you brought it out, it worked. You cleaned it, put it back in a shed. And when you're talking about a $50,000 mower or a $70,000 baler, you've got to keep it in a shed. The shed might cost $40,000, $50,000, but you've got 5 machines in there worth 50.
And if it breaks down, you might have a fine day that day to get your hay in, but the weather could change.
And that baler's got to work.
Then when the hay gets wet, as well as having to repair the baler, the budget was really blown out then.
And machinery is just too expensive to have out in the weather. When you're paying $100,000 for a tractor or $50,000 for a mower, you've got to have them undercover. So we now need another Now Buildings to put the machinery in. Probably the reason we got our first building from Now Buildings was we had a terrible hay shed fire, destroyed a shed and the machinery shed next to it. We didn't know where to look in terms of getting a replacement shed, so we spoke to a few people, and our friends Steve and Jane Struss had just put up in Now Building a great big shed. They put their B-double semis in, and I was most impressed with it. Well, we were most impressed with it. Its strength, its size, the hassle-free delivery, etc. they had. And we also spoke to friends up at Mergen, where we used to live, Peter and Marg Enkelman. They'd done a lot of research, and they'd looked at, I won't say any other brands, they'd looked at some very big brands, and the pricing was, Now Buildings' pricing was good, the amount of steel in it was good, the design was good. So we did a lot more research looking at different sheds in the area, primarily hay sheds, and we fine-tuned the design. I wanted the openings a little bit bigger for when you're backing trailers in at 2 in the morning. When the price was right and the workmanship and the quality was right, we went with it, and we were very happy.
We always enjoy the treats we receive.
Oh, and we enjoy the treats after it. But basically it's been very hassle-free. It just happens without any dramas, which is what I like. We went with Now Buildings and have been very, very happy with it.